Friday, the 12th of August. This is your Frontier opening bell. Thank God we all made it through today. It's a Friday and I'm going green today because I've seen a whole lot of green shoots across a number of Frontier African markets. Thursday, the BRVM up by 23 basis points better for the EGX 30. That's the market in Cairo. Finished off this start at the end of the week on Thursday. Today's the start of the weekend. Cairo will be reopening on Sunday. Then you've got the Nairobi bourse for the second day after the general elections or presidential elections. On Tuesday, investors bought very strongly into the Kenyan market. Some of the biggest names, such as Safaricom, Equity Bank, were some of the most actively traded stocks. Big names such as Everready saw their shares climb on Thursday. That was 2.56%, 148.51 for the composite. The NSE 20 also climbed yesterday. The South African market did also much strong, 2.18%. The resources, industrials, and financial stocks climbed on Thursday. The shares of MTN Group climbed roughly 5% on the back of its latest earnings, as the Telkom reported 46.5% earnings growth in the first half of the year, and says it's selling down on its operations in Afghanistan that will effectively take MTN Group out of the Middle Eastern operations, but says Iran sale will remain in operations. The outlook on Afghanistan sale, which will be paid over a number of years, will be around $35 million US. So a very big day. Telkom was also in the news. But let's get a bit of the start from East Africa. As always, the Kenyans are waiting on the edge of their chairs. Who will be declared the winner of Tuesday's presidential election and the transition to a new administration from President Uhuru Kenyatta? So is it between Raila Odinga or William Ruto, the incumbent vice president? And good prices jumped yesterday as the International Energy Agency revised global oil demand outlook much stronger, while OPEC Plus revised its own demand growth for 2022 much lower. Those contrasting numbers helped oil prices move up again, as we saw U.S. inflation not as red hot had been expected. It's been a winning streak on the economic front, including the weekly job data for the Biden administration in Washington. So that's the story. Then again, back to the rising import bill, which could further weaken the Kenyan shilling. That's according to a weekly investment note from Citibank, while the central bank in Nairobi under Njoroge says the Bank Minister of Egypt has been given an approval to open what you call a representative office in Kenya. It's a whole handshake from North Africa's largest economy to the banking system in east of the continent. And Uganda's inflation pressure weighs on the currency shillings. That's according to the weekly currency report from SA Finance that was released early on Thursday. Keep that in mind. Let's come to West Africa. It's still messy out there. The deal between Seplat Energy and Mobil Producing Unlimited Nigeria, which President Buhari has now cancelled. The sector regulator says it disagreed with the decision of Mr. President to give a go-ahead to Seplat offshore to acquire those assets and shares in Nigeria of Mobil. Now, those stories are still out there. Seplat yesterday released a statement and says it's yet the energy company listed both on Lagos and London stock exchanges says it's yet to get an official statement from the authorities as to the cancellation or reversal of that approval, which was made on Monday. It's one of the very big week and one of the biggest stories that keep everyone guessing. What happens next? Who gets that deal now that President Buhari has reversed himself and the industry upstream regulatory agency had weighed into the whole deal? The local currency, the Naira, is looking set to stay at 700 levels because food prices are soaring in Africa's largest economy and the most populated. That's according to the weekly FX report by SA Finance. And Lehman Pharmaceuticals, listed on the NGX Limited, is in the market shopping and selling about $2.37 billion rights to existing shareholders at 155 kobo per share. Nimes Pharmaceuticals says it's looking to raise this billions of naira to expand its production facilities, build a new one in Anambra State, southeast of the country, and expand the main operating plant in Oregon, Lagos, which has been his main production facility, by the way, and of course improve what you call a working capital. That rights offer is on the street for a couple of weeks. And Fitch Ratings has joined S&P, Standard & Poor's, to push Ghana's credit rating into a negative territory. And if you ask me, that is a red for Ghana. And that's the story. So this right now, from green to red, the whole thing is shaking because Ghana has now been pushed further into junk territory. Triple C, that's the latest credit rating by S&P. Now, Fitch joined 2 days ago to push Ghana into negative territory. This week, we saw Ghana's inflation at 31.7%, and Eurobond yields on Ghana's Eurobond, sovereign Eurobond, are now in, well, double digits. A few of those Eurobond offers are heading towards 30%. And Benin Republic has beaten Burkina Faso and Mali as Africa's top cotton producer. That title has always been held between Burkina Faso and Mali. Now, Benin Republic, Nigeria's immediate neighbor to the west, is now leading in that. Congratulations, folks, for that cotton production on the continent. So let's take our news this morning on Frontier Opening Reports to Southern Africa. And earnings still on our radar. Talk about the MTN shares climbing yesterday on the back of that 46.5% earnings growth for the first half. Netbank, one of the largest commercial banks, says headlines earnings was up 27% for this reporting period, and talk a little bit about rejigging of its branch networks within South Africa. Telkom shares climbed yesterday 6.2% in early trade on the GSE because Rain Telecom is now bidding for Telkom, in which MTN, the big boy, already has expressed an interest. So where will Telkom go? To MTN Group or to Rain? That is now being contended. The winner here is Telkom. The share price climbed higher. And our Afrexibank and the Southern African Development Community, the SADC, has launched a new platform, which is what we call the SADC Launch South Africa Investment and Trade Marketplace. So the whole idea by Afrexibank, according to Kanayo Awani, who is the Vice President at Afrexibank for Intra-Africa Trade, says the whole idea of the South Africa Investment and Trade Marketplace is to provide a common platform for all countries within SADC and the rest of the continent to do business together and enhance efficiency, improve trade relations, and everything in between. That is one good news that we have for the continent this week. In Zimbabwe, a central bank, according to a member of the Monetary Policy Committee, is looking to float what we call a currency board. Zimbabwe will need roughly $700 million to support the currency. The Zimbabwe dollar is an idea that is being floated, that's been done in a number of countries, roughly 40 countries around the world. But there's no official word yet from the Reserve Bank in Harare whether this will be implemented. But it's been considered at the Monetary Policy Committee. We'll hear between now and September if there's a definitive decision or timeline to put up a currency board for Zimbabwe, where inflation is now north of 200% for the month of July. Okay, let's bring it all to an end this Friday in North Africa, where Egypt inflation came in yesterday at 14.6%. Core inflation came in at about 15.6%. Urban index at 13.6% in July. In the meantime, Egypt is planning to cut electricity in order to save foreign exchange. FX is scarce in everywhere, especially for a number of frontier African economies. So it's been really tight, and everyone's trying to save money wherever they can get it. Morocco is allocating more money to subsidize staples, but that will be for 2023. The headline figure is roughly $3 billion because of the problem in Ukraine brought about by the Russian invasion, then a few other issues around climate change and all of that. So subsidies coming for commodities, wheat, other grains like corn and all of that in Morocco. And Saudi's PIF, which is the Public Investment Fund, that's the vehicle that the kingdom uses to invest in critical in projects across different economies around the world. So the PIF says it's bought a minority or very small stake in 4 Egyptian companies, and that comes at about 1.3 billion US dollars. Saudi is doing quite a whole lot. Saudi Arabia is doing a whole lot in terms of economic and bilateral relations with Africa's biggest economy to the north. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a great weekend. I will see you at the other side. Go online and watch our shows all over again, and this show on any of our social media platform as well as on YouTube, Frontier Africa Reports. And then you can subscribe to our YouTube videos. They're all free. I'll see you next time. Bye for now, everyone.